Hi, I'm Evgeny from Bio. I'm presenting the poster which has been prepared for a COP11 held virtually this year. This study is about Heta compiler and how it can help to create and elaborate a large-scale QSP platform. Quantitative systems pharmacology is an integrative discipline that uses mathematical modeling to characterize drugs, disease, and treatments. Being a mechanistic approach, it deals with biological process on different levels, organism, cellular, and molecular. As well as in other big projects like software development, the important point is project management, but not only team qualification. Such challenging problems require special efforts for the standardization of formats and workflows, as well as for creating special tools. This study is a current view of how the typical QSP modeling project should be organized. Heta is a modeling language for QSP and systems biology developed in Bio. This is one of our key technologies for developing of large-scale QSP platforms. Creating a model in a human-readable and writable format gives you a lot of benefits. First of all, the text-like format is natural for the human mind. You can read and write models like a book, split the whole text into blocks, and combine different blocks depending on your needs. The Heta syntax is flexible enough to create a really expressive and beautiful code. Secondly, when you use a textual representation of a model, you can use all the facilities developed for programming languages, like version control, code editors, debugging, and others. It became easier to use the well-developed infrastructure and approaches tested by millions of programmers around the world. More information about the Heta language can be found on the Heta homepage, or you can see the Heta tutorial on YouTube. I'll show you just a simple example of the Heta code. This is the model with two species and one reaction. As you see, the Heta code is straightforward and easy to read and learn. The last two strings describe the formats to which the model will be transformed after compilation. See more examples on the Heta homepage. Heta compiler is a tool supporting all the Heta features and many export formats. It's a small command-line tool with many useful features. It doesn't matter if you prefer coding in Visual Studio, Sublime, or a simple notepad. Heta compiler can be easily integrated with any editor's infrastructure and workflows. And now let's see how the Heta compilation works. Before executing the Heta build command, you should prepare all files of your platform in some directory. This will be your project. As I've said, the whole modeling platform can be split into modules. There is one specific module, index Heta, which is entry point for Heta compiler. The modules can be attached here or inside other submodules. Modularity allows you to organize code better. It's also possible to borrow the parts from other projects without rewriting them. Using the Heta syntax, you can modify the imported model on the fly. As an example, you have not to write the pharmacokinetic model in each project again and again. Just copy and update the template. Heta code is not only way to describe the model. If it follows your workflow, you can also use the other representations instead of or together with Heta code. Heta standard supports also tabular format, JSON, YAML, and SBML. These modules can also be included and integrated into your modeling platform in the standard way. When everything is ready, you can execute the Heta build command. If something is wrong, the compiler prints you the bug information and you can fix and execute the command again. After the compilation, you get the models in different formats depending on your needs. These files can be run in simulation tools. Currently, Heta compiler supports several popular tools, but we are going to extend the list. For example, there are simulations in SimBiology, DBSolve, Plain MATLAB, and Capacity, created based on the same platform. By the way, this is our COVID open source model published on GitHub. The version control system is very important when you work inside a group and your model is large. It doesn't let you lose control over your code. Integration of the Heta-based workflow with control systems such as GitHub or GitLab is a very powerful thing that gives you a lot of opportunities like automatization, visualization, and other good stuff. If you like the idea of open source, such public repositories is a good way to become a part of world community. Heta, as a standard for representing models, removes the barriers between the modelers working with different tools because it's non-specific to a particular format and supports many of them. In an ideal world, the model would be created once, verified by experimental findings, and simulate everything that we need to know. But in real life, we have to change the model structure, add datasets, and repeat simulations again and again many times. When we talk about a good workflow, we should take into account that the model development is iterative or cyclic process rather than a direct plan. The important task for the project team is to reduce the cost of updates and bugs fixing. Fortunately, there are many practical approaches to support iterative development in engineering and programming, which is usually called agile. It doesn't matter if you apply some specific one or create your own approach. Heta compiler allows you to update and check easily the model code without manually rewriting the ODE system. It's also possible now to change the simulation software or use several of them, in case your clients prefer another one. Heta compiler gives you another level of freedom and flexibility in your project. The best place to look at Heta applications is the homepage. First of all, you can look at open source examples to see how the QSP platforms can be organized. You can also see a list of Heta supporting tools and packages. And you can also see here the examples of web applications. One of them is Immune Response Template, which is a database that allows you to generate a draft immunological model. Heta compiler is used here for the database creation, and Heta compiler is also the engine for the IRT navigator to create different models formats. The next application is the online tool created with Heta, AirShiny, and MRGSolve. This is PK error simulator for antibodies. Let's simulate some of predefined drug. So this is how it looks. Heta is an open source project. Any questions and contributions are welcomed on the Heta homepage. We also have the tutorial on Heta. If you want to know more, click the subscription button below. You can also look at our open source projects on GitHub. Thank you for your attention. Be healthy. Bye.